You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors Radio, where we turn it upside down and look at the outside from the inside out. It's safe, it's legal, and we're having a blast. So put your shoes on, my friend, because we're going outdoors.
Welcome to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. I am Rodney Rogers. That right there is my partner, Coach Easton Crime.
Por favor, manténgase alejados de las botas. No offense intended to anybody.
Back at you.
Who's saying he just screwed that up royal.
I don't even know what you said, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I feel like I'm part of whatever just happened.
It reminds you at Disneyland on the monorail,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, somebody keep all your hands and arms inside the vehicle. Yeah, I got you.
Bingo.
You get to hang out with us for the next hour tonight. You get to hang out with Mike and I, and you can reach us in several different ways. You can reach us at hashtag RROR. That will come right over there to Mike on his right. He's pointing at that monitor.
Bada bing.
And that's on the Twitter. The Twitter. You like how I say that?
Twitter.
On Twitter. Hashtag RROR. You can also give us a call, 262-345-7763. And you can also text the hotline number.
Do it.
At 262-345-7763. And Mike will see that, and I'll see that as well. And we'll both see that, actually.
The entire world.
The whole world will see this. This is our 1 hour vacation where we get to hang out and talk about things that we've done over the weekend. We get to talk about a little bit of everything. We got some stuff coming. We got the camping trip coming up. We're going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about what else we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be going over to the viewer mail because we
got some good questions tonight.
Do we? Because if we shut that off, we're going to be in trouble.
No, we can't. We have some interesting questions tonight.
Really, I like interesting questions.
Mixing it up a little bit. But let's start with your weekend because I still cannot get the picture out of my head
of the hogfish.
Of the hogfish.
A hogfish.
Let's start from the top.
Let's start from the top. So I get a call from my buddy who lives in Sarasota. He says, man, dude, I've not done enough fishing. I need to fish. And I'm like, right on, man. I'm your dude. That's what I do. I fish. So we take he has a 20-foot center console. And he goes, what do you think we should do? Man, I said, dude, let's just point the boat due west. Let's head out of the Tampa Bay and let's just go. So now I assumed with this nice boat, he would have some type of electronics. Sure. GPS to tell you where you are on the planet Earth.
Heading to the Bahamas.
The depth finder to tell you if you go walk back to shore or you have to swim back or, something of that nature. None of which he had. What had happened is it kind of went on the fritz, so he took it out and then said, let's go fishing, and he hasn't bought a new one yet. So him and I, during Cyber Monday was going through, West Marine, Bass Pro, Cabela's, looking for the perfect depth finder, and I think he pulled the trigger on one. So we won't go,
But in the meantime, you're going old school.
Compass. Pure compass in the ocean.
You and Christopher Columbus.
we CC'd this thing. Christopher Columbus this thing. We pointed that compass at 270 degrees.
Perfect.
And we ran. And we ran out. You lose sight of land at about 12 to 15 miles.
Is that what it is? That kind of a good rule of thumb?
Yeah, because you got tall buildings.
Okay,
so the buildings get smaller as you go. And then they just like that. They disappear at about 12 to 15 miles. So we were long out of sight of land, and we just kept going. And then we'd see a couple boats, and then finally we saw a spot where there was 3 or 4 boats, and I said, man, let's fish where these guys are fishing. I mean, these guys are here for a reason. They have depth finders. They can see the bottom, so they must be. So.
Well, that's very resourceful of you.
You got this whole world. Sure. You got to put the pieces together. So I took my nephew that had never been offshore fishing ever in his life, little Jason. So I took Jason with us, and immediately Jason drops his line and hooks into a fish right away. And he goes from, I'm not sure I want to be here, to, oh my God, I'm glad I'm here. kind of thing. You know what I mean?
What was the first one he caught?
So the first one he caught was a porgy.
Okay.
So it was just, which is a beautiful fish, man. The porgy that you're looking at right now, it's got blues. I made sure he got in the sun, and I said, man, get here where I can get that beautiful shot.
It's a good looking fish.
Man, that fish is absolutely amazing. Not a lot of what I call real offshore fishermen keep the porgies.
Well, it's more of I look at that as a tropical fish. What you see as,
definitely.
When you're scuba diving, those are the things that make you realize you're in the tropics.
Absolutely.
I mean, those are the fish you see.
And you notice that they're always around the reefs.
Okay.
These things just don't willy-nilly swim around.
Yeah.
They need some reef. And that's what this guy was around. So when you catch this guy and you pull it up, you go, reef fish, there must be some type of structure or reef or something of that down here. So that's a great sign when you don't have a fish or depth finder or nothing like that. Other than the other boats being there, this is a great sign that poof, we might be in the right place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now something like that you can or cannot
you
keep.
can keep that. It has to be 10 inches.
Okay.
So porgy has to be 10 inches.
That was close.
Yeah. Oh, this was actually about 11 and a half inches. Yeah. So, bloom, we got our first fish where he's excited. Poop. Then he catches a little grouper, a little gag grouper, which is, it's got little circles on it. It's got that's it. That's the gag grouper. And, man, he's excited. And I'm excited because that's his first grouper. I mean, it's not a keeper grouper. Those have to be 24 inches. And that one right there is about 9.5.
You know what's interesting, though, is that's a good-looking grouper because when they get bigger, they get uglier. That it's actually an attractive fish right there he's holding.
Yes. So, yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful. And I said, dude, there again, I want to get a good picture with you with this fish. And that's just a perfect baby grouper. And this is why we protect these things. I mean, you could keep it and eat it. That's a great eating fish. But,
even at that size?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to keep that one. I mean, you can't keep it until it's 24 inches, and it's a season on it.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it is in season. But, these things will get up to gag groupers will get up to, 2.5, 300 pounds.
Sure.
So they get pretty big. Do they get that big very often? No. Average catch from one of those is around the 40, 50-pound range. So once we get into that, we got grouper, so now we know we are absolutely on to something. So we catch, we start catching red grouper. We start catching, what we call Key West grunts, which is just reef grunts, all of which are good eating, fantastic eating. So we fish the rest of that day because we didn't get out to that spot till like 2 in the afternoon. So we didn't have a whole lot of time to fish. So we had to leave this spot, and once we leave, we decided, man, we're going back tomorrow, Saturday. We're gonna go fishing Saturday. Now, we are leaving on compass, so we got to go back 90-degree heading.
Oh, interesting.
Exactly opposite of what we had.
Yeah.
Which is not a big deal. We hit our inlet, boom, boom, great ride, blam, we go in. So we want to go back fishing. But here again, we don't know where that spot was. We don't know how many miles we were out. We don't know how deep it was. We just don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? So we're like, okay, how do we get that spot the next day? And I said, man, don't worry about it. We'll get this. We'll find another spot. We'll find, we got this.
Yeah.
So the next morning we got up early. We bought bait the night before. We're getting a boat. We go straight to the water and we're headed out. Waves were a little bit rougher. That day, you can see that these are considered 1-foot waves, moderate chop. I'm just like very light chop, a very calm day overall. So we go back out. Now it's about, we're starting out with waves at about 2 to 3. A little bit windy. It's about 9 miles an hour, but we're determined. We go out. 270. We're going to do the same thing. But the problem is not everybody went out like we did. So we can't go by the boats being, in these areas.
Sure.
There was 3 or 4 boats there. So now no one's going out as far. Now we're out a little bit farther trying to find more boats. we're in the shipping lane. We're
Starting to
watching.
feel kind of lonely.
Yeah, we're watching ships go by at this time. When I say ships, I mean barge ships. 500-foot barge ships. And I'm thinking, okay, so we don't have. It's just us out here. So we picked a few random spots. We look for bait fish. We look for other signs.
Yeah.
And we picked a few random spots. We caught a little something here and there, nothing like we did the day before. So I said, okay, well let's run in and let's see if we see something going in. Maybe someone has come out by the time we. So sure enough, there's a spot with a couple boats on it, and I said, you know what? That's the best sign we've had all day. Let's stop where these guys are.
They're parked for a reason.
They're parked for a reason. So during looking at the current, I figured, here's our best option, and boof, immediately we're right back in the fish. We start catching grouper again. We start catching, the porgies, and we start catching the grunts, and we start catching the reef fish. So we're on the right spot. We broke off a few times from a couple big fish. We didn't know what it was. So next thing you know, my reel goes off, and it is pulling. And with grouper and a circle hook, you got to remember not to set your hook like you do on a bass. You can't do the bass hook set because you'll pull the hook right out of their mouth. So what you do is you just start reeling. You go, you're cranking that reel, and it just pulls up. It pulls if they swallowed it to their stomach, which they do with live bait most of the time. It pulls it out very carefully, and then hooks them right in the lip. So the hook is basically protected, and then it just pulls out, and it catches their lip, and then you reel. And once you start reeling and you feel that fish, then you can give it a couple good tugs. So I did, and this thing is like pulling my drag. It's like going at it, and I'm like, okay, this is the best fish we've had so far. We haven't had any fish pull our drag. This one is cranking the drag. So sure enough, it's cranking my drag. I get it to where I can almost see it. And in my head, I go, my God, that looks like a hogfish. It's about 15 feet deep at this point. So as I get it up, I yell for my buddy Tim, grab the net, because I think we got us a keeper. So he nets, and I'm yelling, woohoo, hogfish, ah! He's looking at me like, okay, dude, what's the big deal about here? So, boof, there you have it.
So you knew it was a hogfish before you got it out of the water.
I knew it was a hogfish at about 15 feet down.
Okay.
Just, when I seen him broadside, I went, that looks like a hogfish.
Okay.
Which, here's a couple things. One is, it's a beautiful fish. I mean, it's definitely, if you're a saltwater fisherman, this is definitely on your list. I don't care what saltwater fisherman's out there, this is it. Because a couple reasons. One, it's a great looking fish. It's amazing eating. And most of the time, they don't bite hooks. They literally just don't, it's like you drop a shrimp and they rarely bite a hook. They mostly root down in the gravel. They stick their nose down, and just like a hog would in the woods, just root, and eat everything that comes across his path. So if you're bottom fishing, you're a good chance you'll pick this guy up,
Okay.
But it's by luck, and especially this far north. In the Keys, I would have said we would have had a good chance of catching.
Yeah.
And even there, it's slight that you catch them on hook and line. So here we are, blam. It's an 18-inch hogfish. It has to 12 inches is legal, and they're going to be moving that limit up to 16 inches.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, so this is going to be moving pretty soon, and this was a great fish, man. This was definitely a trophy by any means.
Now, I couldn't tell from that picture, is his eyes bugged out because of the depth, or is that just...
No, they were just turned. They were just two different colors. It looks bugged out, but they were just absolutely gorgeous eyeballs. I mean, this is just an absolute amazing fish. It just, yeah, because it was only about 25, 30 feet deep, so it wasn't that deep there. It's not like we were fishing 500 feet of water.
Yeah.
We yank them up for 500 feet, their eyes are bulging out. It's a big deal.
How deep?
30 feet.
Okay, so that's nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
And the mouth blows my mind.
Yeah, the mouth.
I mean, I don't know of another fish that has a mouth quite this
very
dramatic.
Very few out there with a mouth like this, and that thing has teeth all the way to the back, man. He is absolutely no joke. So, poof, my first hogfish. I'm very proud of it. I'm so glad. It's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. And I would be this excited, didn't matter who caught that fish.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be this excited. They caught a hogfish, I'd be bragging about it just as well. And on another note, I'm having this hogfish, when I say mounted, I'm having a reproduction done. I sent them the pictures, the measurements, and they're going to make me a fiberglass hogfish that looks just like that.
Well, that's an interesting conversation because most, myself, I'm speaking myself when I say
Right.
most, general public doesn't realize the distinctions because we see the fish or, mounted on the wall, and you think that's the one they pulled up out of the water.
Right.
It's not necessarily the case.
It's
Is
not
it ever the case?
Yeah, it is the case. All my bass are skin mounts.
Okay.
It's more the case with southern freshwater fish. Once you get into saltwater and then northern fish have oils in their skin, and it's hard to mount a fish with all this oil. It just doesn't tan very well. So a reproduction is one of your only options. So,
Which means you send the guy the dimensions, photographs,
yes.
weights, and all that, and he produces something
Produces
that
a
looks
fish.
like the fish you caught.
And here's what he's done. Over the years, Gray's Taxidermists, who's doing ours, they have gotten fish in to be mounted. So if I said, hey, I got an 18-inch hogfish, I have the whole fish. Now, let's say he's like, okay, well, I don't have an 18-inch. Bring your fish down. What they do is they pull a mold off of your fish.
Okay.
And then they mold it.
Yeah, but it's shrunk by now, right?
Well, I mean, if you keep it on ice, you're in good shape.
Okay.
And then once they get it down there, they set it up, they mold it, and then they pull they pull a fiberglass plug out of it, they perfect it, and then
Sure.
they mold the perfection.
Yeah.
So if someone else says, hey, I have an 18-inch hogfish, because remember, the diametrics of the fish are pretty much the same. All 18-inch hogfish are exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They may be a little chunkier.
That's a good point.
But on the most part, it's the exact same fish.
It's the colorings. It's the
colorings, the
external,
patterns,
yeah.
male or female.
Yeah.
And we spoke about that. I caught a male, which has a little spot right on the back of his fin. So right at the back of his dorsal fin, those two long fins going out. There's a spot right at the very end of that where my thumb is, if you look real close, and that tells you that it's a male hogfish. The males have that spot at the bottom. So, I want them to have that spot, and then, of course, the picture of the tail. So it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm excited. I can't wait to get this mount. And they said it's going to be about 2.5, 3 months before I get the fish, and they're going to let you and I come down and do a tour.
I think that'd be phenomenal.
Of the facility, of which you and I are going to absolutely enjoy it. Okay, there we go. There's a real nice shot of a hogfish, which will be a female by the looks of it. So, I'm excited, man. I'm just, and I haven't had a fish mounted in about 10 years. So this will be the first one in about 10 years.
That's a good one for your collection.
I think so, man.
Is that your first saltwater?
That'll be my first saltwater mount. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So if I catch a giant wahoo, I'll have that one done. A reproduction done, should I say.
Sure, yeah.
And then, I'm trying to think of what else kind of fish, if I...
But it's also very expensive to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you do have to be selective in what you're choosing to have mounted.
Absolutely. Like if I caught a giant redfish, maybe I'd do a redfish. Yeah, that hogfish mount was about $550. So basically what they make you do is they make you put a little bit of money down. You pay on it until it's ready. And then, when you pick up your fish, whatever balance you have,
You put it on layaway.
you're basically putting your amount on layaway.
Like Kmart.
So, yeah, you put money down and you got 3 months to pay for your fish and get it out of hock.
Okay.
Because it's going to be on hock. So I'm just making sure if we don't have any questions coming in on
Sure,
the
yeah.
Rodney Rogers hotline. No.
It's a good looking fish.
So,
Yeah, it captured my imagination. Is
Yeah,
that a fair
absolutely,
thing to say?
yeah.
I mean, it definitely sparked some interest.
because you'd be surprised how many. I thought this is like a stand. Because, here it looks like a docile fish. And then, which it is a docile fish on the most part, until you get your finger in their mouth.
Yeah.
And it's probably not very fun. I learned that this weekend. I learned that they had teeth all the way to the back. So, and one of the things that this is considered this is a weird measurement when it comes to the fishing world, because you and I talked about pinching the tail, fork of the tail,
right.
all of this. This hogfish is measured to the fork of the tail.
And this is this considered a forked tail or not?
This is considered a forked tail. So if you look at the closed mouth fork length, I don't know if you have this chart up. So right there where that is where you measure from the very snout to the longest part of the fork tail. So right in there is where your measurement will come in at.
You probably get a lot of variance in that extra
Absolutely
hang off on the
yeah,
tail.
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on how she'd combed her hair that day.
Exactly. Oh, good call. So, yes, and right now, the minimum side in the Gulf State is 12 inches, which is where I caught this one, and it will soon be 14 inches.
Soon be 16.
Soon be 16. Yeah,
now,
on the
yeah.
Atlantic side, it'll be soon be 16. So right now, they're both 12 on both sides.
Gotcha.
The Gulf will be 14, and then the Atlantic will be 16.
Because they're saying they're overfished.
Yeah. They
Believe it
are.
or not, yeah.
Yeah, they spear. They're easy fish to spear.
So they increase the limits, so you can't keep as many.
Right.
Keeping more in the ocean.
Absolutely.
Replenishing the stock, bringing it back up to
yeah, exactly. Okay. That's exactly right. And they do that depending on their breeding.
Daily bag limit 5 per harvest.
Yes.
Will soon be 1.
Yes.
So they're definitely cutting down.
They're slamming it shut for a while.
Changing some
and who knows? It may be, what it'll may be. So it says the state record, 19 pound, 8 ounces caught in Daytona Beach. I would have never thought it was caught in Daytona.
That's pretty, you say, that's further north than you would normally expect.
That's a big fish, which is about 35 inches long.
That is 18, 19.
Yeah, twice mine. I weighed mine. Mine was a little over 5.5 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's 18 inches. That's wow.
Wow.
So it's the weight wise is 3 times.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just interesting, Rodney.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought so. They're saying they're easily identified by the long hog-like snout, which allows them to feed on the bottom-dwelling mollusk and crustaceans, which makes sense. I caught this guy off a squid.
Yeah, right.
Because squid was our bait of choice this weekend. I mean, it really was. So, if they come across that in the rocks, a little octopus. We caught an octopus, too, by the way. Because they tend to root in the sediment in search of small prey. They are not commonly caught on hook and line. Hogfish are primarily harvested by spearfishing. And that's what made this such a trophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Diving in the Keys, when we went diving... when we learned how to dive down there, when we did our diving, that's what I seen. And years ago, snorkeling down there, you've seen hogfish. But, and you can get right up on them, man. These things, you could swim from me to you and basically poke on them.
That's why you don't, when you look at deep sea fishing, people pulling stuff in, hogfish is usually not in that library of fish.
That's exactly right.
Like they're saying here, it's primarily spearfishing.
That's exactly right. Things. And when I told the guys down there, when I called the taxidermist and I said I caught it on hook and line, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome."
Considered to be excellent food quality.
Oh yeah, I haven't had this yet.
Yeah.
I've got the fillets.
Yeah, Dirty Jim was pretty raving about hogfish.
Yes, he was. He was. For those of you that know or don't know, we're on the Monsters in the Morning, 104.1 every Monday morning with Russ and the Monsters, which is Dirty Jim, Carlos, and Angel. And we're on there every Monday, and we talk about our adventures, what we do through the week. And we got to talk about that this week. Jimmy was hosting the show this week, so it was absolutely fantastic. So, and Jimmy understands the importance of a delicious fish because he has Primetime Kitchen.
Yeah, right.
That his cooking show that he does, which is awesome. I'm going to visit him tomorrow at his. He's at a new brewery, so we're going to be visiting. I don't know the name. It's on Sand Lake Road. So
okay,
look at our website. I hit so you got to be able to see it. Primetime Kitchen. Sorry, I just want to give him.
No, he's doing some. Yeah, he was raving about the hogfish and how rare it is. And got a question for you on the hog. Are any of those things
poisonous,
or at least
spiny?
Yeah, or
no.
prickly, or like a catfish? You see those type of things sticking out, and you immediately think
they are very stiff and they're very long. So, but they're not pokey like a spine. Now down his back, past the real long ones. Those are spiny.
Okay.
Those will poke you.
Okay.
And they're not poisonous, but they'll poke you.
Yeah,
so,
they look like one of those beautiful fish that could put the hurt on you.
Right.
But those things sticking off aren't so much.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not.
The worry.
Yeah, they're not even. They're just beautiful. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, it's my pretty hair.
Yeah, no,
That's my hair. So, right on, man.
Right
So
on,
that was
man.
my hogfish story. Do we have questions for
We
tonight?
got questions.
You've got mail.
We get letters. We get
Stop, whoa, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Send me an email with all the details.
Another freaking email. Another freaking email song.
The mail's here.
On a top flight, hold you tight, get you there by daylight, do you right overnight mail.
That's 100%, man. 94%.
No, yeah, you're definitely in the 90 upper 90
percentile.
percentile.
Let's do it.
Rodney Warner L. from Gainesville, Florida says, how do I keep fish from sucking off my worms? This is his words, not mine. They are not biting, so I can't set the hook. Am I doing something wrong?
Here's the deal. When you have a consistent amount of your worm being picked off your hook, there's two problems that are happening. One is small fish. So small fish are just basically picking it without inhaling it. The only time you can catch a fish is when they inhale the bait. So you'll have a majority of just small fish picking at your live bait if it's a worm. Now, another problem is you may have big fish. When you're talking bluegill, sometimes they're not big enough to inhale the size hook you got.
Sure.
So one thing you can do is downsize your hook, because it doesn't matter what size hook it is. It's in them. It's in them. You know what I mean? And you can pull them out of the water.
That's a good point.
So start with downsizing your hook. Hook your worm, and then let them try that and say, come on in, Mr. Fishy. But that's it. It's just basically, it's that one or the two.
Does it make a difference on how you're tying the worm onto the hook?
It kind of does.
Because if you just hook him,
If you just hook him in one spot and you got this big
Yeah.
worm hooking out, he's going to pull it out. So you need to get him a couple hooks. So hook him, fold him, hook him again, fold him, and hook him again. So if it's a long worm, hook him at least 3 times.
Is that some common sense built into? I mean, maybe a lot of people don't know that.
Some people
but
don't know that, but if you don't, you probably want to, because an earthworm has 7 brains. So if you poke him 3 times, you hit at least 3 brain memories.
Okay.
You get to, you got 4 more to go.
Fair
so
enough.
It's kind of like 9 lives on a cat, ain't it?
Let's see. David B. Boca Raton, Florida says, "Can I use braided line with a spin cast fishing reel?"
A spin cast being a Zebco is what is a spin cast.
Okay.
So a Zebco 33 or Zebco
Those
something,
enclosed
yeah, those
kind of-
enclosed reels. So yes, you can. But here's the key. Here's the key to those spin casts, and I know because trial and error on my part. You don't want to go too thin on line. You want to stay at about that 10-pound thickness. So get a line that is 10-pound thickness, which is usually between the 30-pound and the 50-pound.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
So right in between there, it's 30-pound thickness is 8-pound test. You don't want to go any less than that. It's 8-pound thickness. And then 50-pound is 12-pound thickness. So those two, you can use that. If you go any thinner, you're going to have a mess on your hands.
Okay.
And if you go any thicker, you're not going to be able to cast. So that's your window, 30 or 50. So, yes, you can use braided line on those, and that is my suggestion of the line that you use.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
That's what we need is solid answers, Rodney.
We need to get you where you need to go without the trial and error that I've already done, by the way.
Timothy from Stuart, Florida wants to know, is today a good day to go fishing, Rodney?
Timothy, this is the best question. Email me because I'm going to give you some swag, buddy. Yes, today.
I don't know. I don't know if
It's
the questions get much better than that, Rodney.
It's a very good day to go fishing. So, yes.
Once again, an answer straight to the point,
Yes. I mean,
Timothy.
I have it's called the fishing brick. And it determines my days of fishing. And here's how I use my fishing brick. I throw it in the air. And if it lands,
It is a good.
it is a good day. So you can do that with a rock. You can do it with your wife's fine china. You can do it with a lot of things. Your iPad, you can do it. So yes, that's great. It's
That
an
is
absolutely
one of the best questions we've had in a long
brilliant
time.
question.
Here's one from Buck22 says, "I'm hunting a 40-acre plot of land. There are blueberries in the middle of the plot and corn on the edges. If you were a deer, Rodney, Where would you be the most?
The blueberries. Here's the deal. That's a great question. It's a legitimate question because a lot of times, I mean, deer are no different than we are. They like the path of least resistance. It's just depending on how easy the corn is to get to and how easy the blueberries are to get to.
Okay. So not necessarily a question, do they like blueberries better than they like corn?
Right, exactly. Some will bypass the corn once they find the blueberries, but the majority will eat the corn. When the corn's gone, they'll move into the blueberries. Sure. It's just going to depend on their path. Is it in their path? Is it something they frequent? You know what I mean? If that blueberry patch is on their path from the bedding to the feeding areas or the watering areas, you know, remember, they have patterns just like we do.
Sure.
Yep. So, and they can be dictated and monitored. So use that wisely. If you're putting out corn and you're putting it in off the trails or an accessible location, you're going to find they're probably going to eat that corn more. Once they're out of corn, they'll move into the blueberries. It's physics.
Okay.
Or whatever you call it.
Sure.
It's I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're keeping corn, if you're keeping corn there, they're not going to the blueberries. Most likely. So,
whatever's easiest.
So whatever easy. They're hungry. So, but, you will find something to go like, I'm having blueberries. That's it.
If it's in front of them, like you say, convenience plays a factor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
good questions, man.
You've got mail.
Letters. We get letters. We get
Stop, whoa, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Send me an email.
Sorry. A little outro there.
I was going to drink coffee during that time.
You can drink coffee anytime you want, Rodney. Let's talk camping.
Let's talk camping, Mike.
From what I understand, you've got a camping trip.
We have a camping trip coming up this weekend. So we've gotten a ton of questions, none of which I have in front of me, but I do know what most of the questions is. What they are, not what they is.
What they be.
So I'm just checking we're good here. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be at Mackeson Island in Kissimmee. Now, let's talk about the where-tos, how-tos. Uh-oh, I see a smile.
No.
Okay.
That's good.
And all the goodies.
Okay.
How right now I want to camp. How am I getting to the island? First thing I'm going to say is we have an amazing young man, handsome fella, who accepts tips. He won't accept a tip, unfortunately. But we're using Randy and Brittany's boat, which are two absolutely amazing people. And what's that? Okay, I just see you up to the mic like I'm about to
I'm intrigued by what you're saying, Rodney.
So Randy has volunteered his services to carry people from the boat ramp to the island.
Yeah.
So you don't need what's called a boat to get there. You have to get there by boat.
You do need a boat.
You have to get there by boat.
Yeah.
But
make no mistakes.
Make no mistake about it.
You need a boat.
You don't get on a boat, you are not coming. That just is that simple.
You cannot drive to the island.
You cannot drive to the island.
Yeah.
And there's going to be 2 boat ramps that you can get to, depending on the direction you're coming from. And pay attention. You're going to go to Granada Boat Ramp, which is off Pleasant Hill Road. If you Google Granada Boat Ramp, Kissimmee, it will show you the location of the boat ramp. Okay? Or you can go to Lake Toho Marina and park there.
It's right downtown Kissimmee, isn't it?
Right downtown Kissimmee. Google Lake Toho Marina, and it will take you to the most beautiful park that Kissimmee has ever built.
Yep.
And right there at the marina. Both locations are safe to leave your vehicle. A sheriff lives at the Granada boat ramp, and the police department monitors the Toho boat ramp. So you're safe in both locations.
But due diligence. Nothing's in stone. I mean, it's a public area, so don't leave valuables in the car. Nobody's responsible other than yourself.
Yes. Yes.
They're both fairly safe general public areas to leave your vehicles.
You bring your fine china and it's
yeah.
gone. I'm not replacing your fine china. I'm on a fine china kick tonight.
So back. I wanted to give
Yes.
a shout out.
Let's shout out, Mike.
And let's start with Randy, because you already mentioned Randy
Yes.
and Brittany. We've got some folks that surround us that have been
priceless. Yeah.
I mean, they're integral to what we're doing. They're the backbones. They're always supporting, always working, and specifically on camping trips.
Right.
You know, Randy's, you know, he's been there and helped us out every single time. And number one, these people are absolute joys to be around.
Right.
You know, and I just wanted to say thank you for them selflessly being there and offering themselves up and participating in the success of what we're doing here.
How about I name them? How's
Yeah,
that?
please do.
So we got Randy driving the boat.
Yeah.
We have Brittany, who monitors Randy driving the boat. Brittany does so much more. I'm just razzing her.
I mean, Brittany, yes, even as we speak.
Yeah, they're picking up our shirts
As
for us.
we speak, Brittany is out working and making things happen.
So we have Brittany picked our shirts up for us for the camping trip.
Yeah.
We'll have shirts available, and we'll put a price up there.
Yeah.
And we have Todd and Dawn who are actually making the shirts.
Yeah.
I mean they're working. He's been hounding me for shirts, and the shirt supplier has not called me and said the shirts are ready.
Yeah, but you know what? Take it back even to the last camping trip with Todd.
That's what I was going to bring that up.
Even, I mean, little things that people wouldn't to this day know.
Right.
But getting us access to drive a vehicle
back
to the campsite so we could get things in and out. I mean, those are things that these people make happen, and they're not taken for granted.
Exactly.
These things are huge.
Exactly. So thank you, Todd, for that
Yeah.
one. He pulled one out of the hat on that one. So I got to drive my truck back, and he was able to drive people back to their cars, that didn't stay.
Now, he works for Parks and Recreation, right? He's on that show, Parks and Recreation, right?
Yes. And I will tell you, he does not get us a discount on this island. The island is discounted 0. So, but and it's I'm happy to pay it. You know what I mean? This is our treat. It's mine and your treat.
Yep.
We're treating everybody, so we're not asking for money. We want you to be there. And then, we got Nick. Nick he helps me cook. He helps us gather our firewood. He helps us. I mean, there's just so much that goes on to this stuff. There's a lot of logistics here. Even though you're just going out to camp, and I don't know if you notice this, but you don't realize you're putting wood on the fire. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
So between Nick, Todd, me, Randy, and Little Gary, or my nephew Little Gary that was there last year, and Dawn and Brittany and who am I missing? Randy.
Well, these are people that even after the camping was over last year, they were
helping us
clean
pick
up and
7.
put out the embers from the fire.
Yes,
and make sure the
we cooled them, we buried them,
making sure we left it better than we found it. And
that's exactly right. And we put new bags in and we threw away 7 contractor bags of garbage. Yeah. With 32 people, I believe we had last year.
You know what? That's nothing. There's nothing wrong with being proud of that.
No, there's not. Absolutely.
Good for everybody who partook in that, because that's how you want to play that game.
Exactly. And I think everybody that, what I noticed is when we were camping, everybody was cleaning up their campsite. They were very diligent. They actually picked up trash that was there when we got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we literally left it better than when we found it.
Yeah.
So, there's no complaints there. Yep. I mean, when you're coming into this camping world, you want to leave one thing, and that's your footprints.
Yep.
That is it.
That's right.
If I had a rake, they wouldn't even saw our footprints. So, thank you so much, guys, and we can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah, I think it's important to say thank you, guys, because they are. Every episode. Every episode, foundation and a support for what we're doing here.
So we're on an island. And the biggest question I'm getting is, what do I bring? How can I help? And here's how you can help. Bring what you would normally bring camping. Now, there's some things that I do, but that's just random, and it's out of the kindness of my heart. Mm-hmm. If you're coming to the island thinking that I'm going to cook for the whole island, that's not the case.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no way I could plan for how many people is going to be in there.
Sure.
It may be down the road. Maybe we'll supply that and things will change, but I can't predict.
Yeah, we might change your diapers then too.
Right, because we don't know if 5 people are coming or 55. Right. You might have to. And we don't know if 5 people are coming or 55. I think we only got 1 or 2 RSVPs.
Yeah.
But we know there's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's no way for me to dictate that. So bring you some sandwich material. I mean, you're only there, if you come Friday, you're there 2 nights. If you come Saturday, you're there 1 night. Bring you some sandwiches, bring you some whatever you would cook. There's plenty of grill space there, and I'm going to have a gas burner. If you're there Friday, then I do cook.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some logistics you can't be responsible for. Everybody
Absolutely.
Be responsible for yourself. If Rodney doesn't feed you, will you die? That's up to you. Right?
It'd be so cool if you did.
We've got some.
My God. It'd be like, dude, that's
you've
a
got
dead
some
body.
good intentions and plans, but again, like
Right.
you say, maybe one. If there's 100, it's going to be a morsel of food that each one gets to maybe smell it,
Right.
and then move on.
Or watch me eat.
Yeah, or watch you eat. So, give us some grace here. We're
Yeah.
going camping, and Rodney wants to cook for everybody. That may or may not happen depending on
Yeah.
who comes, but come prepared to go camping.
But
and
I will tell you this.
feed your children.
Sunday morning is sausage gravy, and it'll go as far as it goes. You know what I mean?
And the earlier you get up, the better chances you have.
This is a true
having-
meaning of early bird gets the
Yes,
worm.
gets the gravy. That is correct.
So this is going to be that. So I do stuff. We have cornhole coming. We have the straps that we
That's
walk.
that's not a special guest.
Oh,
actually a
cornhole.
He is going to be there.
I'm eating giblets.
He's the
Yeah.
life of the party every time.
Old
isn't he?
cornhole's the life of the party, boy. So Nikki is our reigning champion. So if you're good at cornhole, you got a shot at Nick. So
the what do you call the wire, the strap walking
So I don't know.
dangerous?
Yeah, so we'll
break
keep
your
it.
neck
We'll keep it at
activity.
the same height. I think it was like right at 30 inches off the ground,
Which is dangerous enough.
which is dangerous enough.
That is not no easy.
When a
feat.
strap smacks you in the genitalia, there's nothing fun about that at all. But it's a 2-inch strap that we strap between 2 trees, and we crank it down.
Yeah.
Down. We crank it down,
That's fun.
and you walk it. Russ's son-in-law walked it last year like it was woohoo, like it was a tight wire.
Yeah.
I mean, just like he was a trapeze artist or something. He just and it was fun to see who could walk the farthest.
Try your luck. Step right up.
Step right up, try your luck, and get your video cameras in slow
Exactly
motion.
right. Hey, and also some other opportunities.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I believe you're
Yep.
going to bring a canoe or
Yeah, I'm going to
two
bring
or
my
kayak
canoe,
or-
and there's going to be canoes and kayaks there if you just want to just take a stroll. There's lots of wildlife.
It's
you
a
can
big
see.
island. How big is the island?
The island has like a 3-mile radius.
Okay.
Or diameter.
Yeah.
So there's nature trail, the nature trail all the way on the
Yep.
island. Nature trails around the island, and there's a lot of cool stuff to see. There's wild hogs, there's deer, there's goats, there's some cool stuff there.
We're isolated. And if you're careful and very quiet,
Yeah.
I mean, we've proven this
You'll
to be
get to see a
true.
wabbit.
No.
What a wabbit.
No, kid,
oh, no.
don't kid around, Rodney.
I'm sorry.
You'll get to see a butterfly.
Yes. You will get to see it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was kidding. I'm so sorry.
We saw butterflies.
We did see butterflies, and we got pictures of cool butterflies and mushrooms.
The softer side of us got some
Yes.
butterfly pictures.
We took pictures of fungus.
Yeah, among us.
Fungus among us.
So great hiking.
Yes, it's
Chance to
awesome.
Take the canoes, go out for a ride. You're going to have life preservers and stuff like that.
Yes.
There's fishing opportunities there because what I understand is it's an island and you're actually surrounded by water.
100%.
And there's fish and other wildlife
Yes.
in those waters.
Yes. But bring a first aid kit if you have one. We'll have one
Please.
because I always need a first aid
Please.
kit. I always need first aid. It's inevitable. So bring what you would bring camping. Of course, a tent. I've done giving out all my space in Nikki's tent.
There's no room at the inn.
I've done giving all Nikki's space. I'm giving his space away in his tent, and he's bringing a whole family. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you know what happened when it just be me and you, man?
Bring some Christmas lights, decorate your tent.
That is the key. I bought Christmas lights for my hammock. I will be in a hammock. So there will be no doubt where I'm at this year. I sleep in a hammock. It's just what I do. But, there's battery-operated lights that you can buy at Walmart. I bought mine at Walmart.
Yeah.
They're like $4 a piece, $4.50 or something like that. They run on triple A or double A. You'll see when you buy them. And decorate your tent, man. I don't know. We may have some swag for a cool tent giveaway. If you got the best decorated tent, maybe we'll give you a T-shirt. We're going to have T-shirts there. So maybe that's what we'll do. How's
That'd
that
be
sound?
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have T-shirts and you're going to have tents.
T-shirt tents. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. So what else we got? Cornhole. Of course, the huge, beautiful campfire. Bring a chair.
Oh, that's
If you have a fold-out chair, bring a chair. You're gonna probably need.
Otherwise you're gonna be finding a log or sitting on the ground.
Yeah,
if you got something as rudimentary and elementary as
I'm gonna bring
be.
all my chairs. I have a special chair that I bought that I'm gonna be using, and then I do have a shower. I bought a shower. It's just like
that's what I was gonna talk about.
It's got a little shower
We're
thing.
all showering with Rodney.
Yeah, we're gonna build a big shower so we can all squeeze in. It's gonna be quick. I got to squirt this all at once. But no, I'm gonna set up a tarp up so we can have a shower.
Okay.
I'm gonna be there for 4 days, so I'm gonna shower.
I'm actually leaving tonight after the show.
To shower?
No, to the island.
Okay. You're gonna beat me by 2 days.
I'm doing 21 days out there.
21 days on the island.
It's gonna be epic.
It's gonna be awesome. What else we got? We got, of course.
Again, this is all shallow plans.
Very shallow.
But we have some. I mean, we're excited about this because again, we're going to be there. I think there's going to be 50 to 60 people there.
Right.
Then that might be underestimating. We don't know.
Yeah.
Again, this is come as you are kind of thing. We've been told there might be an airboat.
There's going to be a couple airboats there.
I am personally excited about that.
So maybe we can talk them into a ride.
Yeah, maybe.
Again,
no promises.
No promises.
Don't say, well, you promise. We didn't promise.
We didn't promise you nothing. We promised you an island.
We promised we'd get you there. We didn't promise we'd get you home.
Or there might be an indigenous species on the island by the time we're done.
That's right. But maybe a shower.
Yeah.
And definitely a fire. We know we're going camping. There's going to be a few tents. There's going to be a big fire. There's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of laughter.
Laughter.
A lot of laughter.
A lot of laughter. Yeah, it was last year, man. Yes, last year it was a lot of laughing. It was just
so cool. This is
it was very smooth. It was very smooth.
We consider it history in the making.
So bring you something to drink. Bring your waters. There's no water hose on the island. If there is, I don't know where it's at. What you got?
We talked about Dawn.
Yes.
Sweet Dawn. She says, and she's saying this. I'm going to repeat this, Dawn. So you made me do it.
It's a stab at me.
Nope. I'm making a huge pot of chili.
Okay.
For everyone there Friday night.
Oh, okay.
My treat to everyone with sweet cornbread.
Oh.
She only said one sweet by. I added the extra.
You added the extra sweet. Okay. So it's going to be sweet cornbread. Mike promises to put a little extra sweet in the sweet cornbread.
Very nice, Dawn.
So we know Friday night we're having chili.
Can you tell we're excited about this? We wait for this every year.
I know. This is a once a year thing.
And it never disappoints. And the weather is supposed to be
nice.
Pretty awesome.
We got about 77 degrees, which is about what we had last year.
Which is perfect.
I was hoping for a little cooler during the day.
Cooler's better, but
hey,
if it cools down to 65, 70 at night, you're golden. That's now, one thing we didn't mention is mosquito repellents. What about repellents?
I would bring a mosquito repellent.
You can't. I mean,
just in
bring
case.
It, why not? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Throw it in your bag. We were out there a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get bit once, but it doesn't mean they're not there. When you're sitting down and relaxing by a fire, you may get a lot of spaghettos. The spaghettos may get on you pretty quick.
Yeah, it's hit and miss this time of year, isn't it?
So I just didn't see a lot out there. So hopefully, we're in good shape. But bring the spray just in case.
Again, if you are, we've talked about this before, but obviously we want everybody to come. We want everybody to be comfortable. This is a very comfortable environment. So if you're on the edge, if you've said I'm interested on Facebook and you haven't committed, if the fact that you may not know somebody or I'm not comfortable with what I feel, just come. Put that aside and come. I promise the moment you step on the boat or see Rodney or anybody's face, it's going to be
maybe not my face. Maybe,
but maybe
maybe you may be rough and rugged like me.
But this is a family fun
Absolutely.
come one, come all, and
Yeah, don't think you can't bring your kids. This is a kid-friendly environment. Bring them. There's going to be 3-year-olds there. There's going to be 6-year-olds. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So we got to give an ultimate shout-out to the very person, the reason we have this island.
yeah.
The absolute, you guys did a phenomenal job at keeping it from me.
It's not Mother Nature either.
You have to book this island way in advance. And Mike's wife, Kim, who lodged this island basically as soon as we stepped foot off of it last year, she booked the island. And that's why we have the island. Mike and I was actually in Arkansas, and I was waiting for the duck season to come out. And when it came out, I went, okay, here's our weekend. And when I tried to book the island, it was booked. And this dirty dog here knew it and made me sweat it out the whole time, you know.
That was what you call a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
But
You made the right move.
no, Kim is the type that if you say you need something, you better be
yeah.
serious if you're actually saying you might need it because you're probably going to get it.
You're going to get it, yeah. So,
she secured the island early because last year, we got overtaken by some Boy Scouts and we weren't able to go out there, and it still was wonderful. We just had to find an alternate location.
Yeah, so now we know we have 2 locations in case one don't work out.
We might find a third. Who knows? Nothing's written in stone.
Exactly. We very well may find a third. So, but until we find the third, hopefully, we keep this guy.
But what we do know is this year it is Mackeson Island next weekend, June 3rd through June 4th officially. We're going to be out there on Friday. If you want to come, same thing. Get yourself to a boat ramp, call the number. We'll get somebody over on a boat to come get you.
Yeah, call the hotline at 262-345-7763. For that weekend, I will answer it from my cell phone.
Yeah.
So it will come directly to my cell phone. So you won't have any problem whatsoever.
And again, just so we're clear, all this information is on the website. But just so we're clear, there's no admission.
Right.
The island has been paid for by Rodney Rogers and Rodney Rogers Outdoor and Company. But there's no admission. So you don't have to pay for the campsite or anything like that, but just go bring your tent, bring stuff to make yourself self-sufficient, bring enough food for you and your family or whatever you want to drink and that kind of stuff. But basically it's all for one for all when you're out there. But
show up for the day.
Show up for the day, yeah, good point.
Just come out in the morning.
Yeah.
Hang out for the day, and we'll drive you to the boat ramp that night.
Yeah.
Or evening or before dark. Then we'll get the vampires come out. It was a chupacabra.
You got to get close to the campfire when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Or chupacabra have you.
The chupacabra will have you.
But yeah, this episode's kind of been turned into a camping promotion, but again, this is once a year.
Yeah.
And it's been I've been thrilled about every year being part of it. No regrets, and I think everybody who goes is anxious for the next year as soon as it's over.
Absolutely.
It's just a really good, relaxed, comfortable. Leave your inhibitions at home. Don't come. Just come to get outside.
Yeah.
The stars are probably going to be shining.
Yeah, and don't come with expectations of having participated in anything. Just come, bring in your chair, and just relax. And the sunset from there is amazing.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not too cloudy. Our sunset from there is due west.
Yeah, if you want to come and spend the weekend in your tent, that's cool too.
Just hang
go
out.
camping. From day one, it's been we want to be able to assist to help people get outside, make it comfortable, and this is definitely a hands-on, direct opportunity to help make that happen.
Absolutely,
we're providing you. Just show up, call us, we'll get you.
If you need help setting up your tent, I'll be there. If you need help, learn. Rodney, I've always wanted to learn how to build a campfire. I'm there for that. If you say, I brought my fishing pole, I want to learn how to catch a bluegill.
Yeah.
I'm there for that.
Perfect.
Oh, whoa. What we got?
What's going on here?
Let's take that call, man. Let's take that call. Thank you for calling Rodney Rogers Outdoors. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Randy.
Randy. This is our El Capitan. What up, Capitan?
Hey, I was just calling to say if you have more than 3 kids and you might want to bring a life preserver.
Oh, good call.
Oh, good one, Randy.
Good call.
I have 3 on the boat.
Okay, so you
have plenty for adults.
And I have one at my house, so I'll bring the one I have, and that way you have 4. So if you got more than 4 children,
okay.
That's a great call.
You can just leave the 2 children at the boat ramp while you take the boat over.
Take the adults over, and we'll come back and get the kids. We'll figure it out. So I'm gonna bring I'm gonna give you the child's preserver that I have as well, and that way you got 4. And that because I don't need it.
That's brilliant, Randy.
Although Nicky acts like a kid, he's not a real kid. You know, he fits in the big ones.
We let him sit at the adult table for
Yes,
lunch.
we do. Thank you so much, Randy, for doing this, man.
Randy, thank you for everything you do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. We'll see you later. So that's actually I'm glad he called with that one. So yeah, if you got more than 3 kids, now 4. If you got more than 4 kids, we need to have a talk, first of all. Second of all, we got enough life preservers for 4. The other one we're just going to have to leave at the boat ramp till we get back. Yeah. So I'm going to get in trouble for that. If you're mad at me for that one, email me at mike@rodneyrogersoutdoors.com. That'll work every time. So, Mike, we're coming to the end of our show. Rodney. So I want to throw a couple things out there.
Do it.
You taught me something tonight that we can do, and we're going to do it. We have our friends at Fired Up Fishing Charters, and I've thought about this for some time. So what I want to do is...
Oh, what? I thought you were going to say it was this.
What is that?
I don't know. I thought I showed you.
It's like a fish? No. It's like signal?
I'll put it away.
Okay.
What, you were saying something?
Appreciate it. I don't even know what that was.
It's still going.
Oh. That's the best part. It's not stopped. So what I want to do is... and it'd be this the technical part will be your jargon. What we're going to do is we're going to set up on the website where you can buy a ticket to fish on a boat.
Yeah.
I'm going to get with Chris. Chris don't even know this is coming, but I'm going to get with Chris. Chris is awesome with Fired Up Charters, and it's going to be, a ticket price. I'll set that. Just go to our website, and you'll look at it.
Great way to do it.
And when we fill up 6 spots, we're going to book the trip. And we'll go offshore fishing with Fired Up Charters. Now, if you want to see the things that we did with Fired Up Charters, look on my Facebook. I'll repost some of the stuff and the fish that we caught. It was absolutely amazing. And then look up Fired Up Charters website, and then and just look at the fish that they're catching. So I love fishing with Chris. And Captain Tyler is just one of my favorite things to do. And we will book we will book the trip when we get 6 people.
It's a great way to do it, Rodney.
Yeah, and if there's 7, 8 people, we'll go ahead and put that on the next trip.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do at least one a month, and if it turns out that we do it twice a month, I'm going to go every trip.
You're fishing no matter what.
I'm fishing every trip. I'm going to pay my $150, and I'm going to be the first guy in the boat. So my $150 will be in the kitty on every single trip.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this, it's actually about $166 a person, but I'm going to cover the difference. So all I'm asking is, just to prove to you, I'm not making money.
Yeah, no, we just want to go fishing.
This is so, I get so many people wanting me to take them offshore, I can't do it. Yeah. So I think this is a great way.
It's a phenomenal way of doing it.
To say, hey, let's go fishing together. I got a guy.
And you get 6 people ready to commit to it.
Blam. Trip book.
Yeah.
Because, going fishing this weekend just off a 20-foot boat, I spent $200 in bait. Each day was $96.
Yeah.
And then he put $95 worth of fuel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So between 2 guys for 2 days, we spent $400.
Sure.
So this is a phenomenal trip.
Yep.
We get on the boat, we enjoy it. Captain Tyler hooks our bait up, tells us what kind of fish we got, if we're legal, if we're illegal, if you're seasick, he'll throw ice on your neck. He'll rub your shoulders.
You just arrive, and everything else is taken care of.
Yeah, and he's phenomenal. Yeah. So we're going to implement that. I think it's awesome.
It's a great way to do it.
So now that I know we can do that.
We can do it.
We can do it.
We can do it.
So here we are at our closing time. I guess it's that time to say goodbye to all our family.
Episode 142.
MIC. Okay. No.
Blow in your ear. Remember that? Carol Burnett.
Oh, yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
Man, that's an oldie but a goodie. So, Mike, you got anything?
I don't, Rodney.
Camp trip? Nothing else?
I'll see everybody Friday night or Saturday, whenever you want to come out. We're going to be there.
We shall be there. And as my mama said, 18 quadrillion times.
Is Mom coming?
Mom might be there.
Oh.
She might show up. Who knows?
Special guest star. She'll be choppered in.
Land her down, drop her from. She's so skinny she'll float down like this, right?
She wouldn't love
Anyway, you kids get outside and stay.